Why hello there. Two things to start off the video. Number one, massive thank you to 3D Wrap for sending me the hand controller. And number two, this could be a game changer. So what we have here is a hand controller made by 3D Wrap. I'll put the link in the description so you can take a look at it on the website, which basically allows people like myself who don't have use of the legs to do racing games. As you've probably seen, for people who already subscribe to my channel, when I'm doing any type of racing, I'm just pressing the pedals with my hands. And over time, it's just way too much strain on the wrist. And this should allow me to race for longer with zero pain. So initially, getting out of the box, it's light, but also weighty inside. You can feel like the quality of the mechanics inside, as you do when you get something, you know, you've got to press it and twist it. But you see, I was just showing there's the power port on the front. On the back side where it touches on your hand, there's like a little bit of cushioning, and there we see the power cord and the rubber strap. So basically, to attach the rubber strap, which goes across the palm of your hand, there's a screw at the bottom and a screw at the top. Take them off, put the strap in, tighten them back up. It's adjustable as 4 sizes of adjustment. I went with the biggest one. I don't even have that big of hands. I was just looking in the box to see if there was any like type of instructions, if there was a certain way I should put the strap on or whatever, but it's quite obvious really, because you would have the excess like holes, the adjustment bit on the bottom. Otherwise, if you put it on the top, it would be flapping in the way of the levers. You know, it makes sense when you take the time to look at it. So there it is. That's how you wear it, basically. Pop your hand in, press the levers with your thumbs. One for brake, one for accelerator. I've seen on the 3D Wrap YouTube channel, which I'll also link below, the guy was doing a drifting video and he was using the front one for accelerator, but I think the back one would be better for accelerator. And then you can literally just drop your foot off it onto the brake. Time to look at how easy it is to install and use. Literally loaded up ACC, clicked on controls, clicked on assign a button, and there it is, already there, 3D Wrap. So I left this was the first time I tried syncing it up with a game. So I left the full duration of me doing it so you can kind of see the whole process basically. So you can see that it even has the name of it, 3D Wrap HC01 Hand Controller 1. But you see when I'm pressing it, the front button is Axis 6. So the front button does actually seem to work a little bit better than the rear button. But I also watched a previous review by someone else, and they even said that, you know, like it works perfectly fine. You just need to tweak, like, well, there is the max limit and the minimum limit, so that you can always be on full power when you press it, or off the power when you're not pressing it. Like, it's perfectly fine. It's just the smallest amount. You could probably leave it and you wouldn't really notice it, like a huge deal. Like I said, I thought I would leave it in just to show. I also found on Beamng it didn't have that issue. When I pressed it, it was at 100. When I took it off, it was at 0. There could be something else within Beamng like some type of, you know, like a dead zone type thing, which ACC don't have, so it's more precise, but like it's not an issue. Super easy, you just plug it in and it just works. Came up straight away. 3D wrap or hand controller installing, ready to go, like within 5 seconds. Another thing as well with this ACC footage, I had it on capture screen because I wanted to show, you know, loading the game and clicking on this, but it was taking too long to load. I ended up cutting it out and totally forgot to switch it to game capture, so we don't have any audio, which is slightly unfortunate. And there we go, done. I think, like I said, this was the first time I'd done it. I think I spent 2 minutes in the options, just like actually trying to figure out how to tweak the, you know, like this dead zone thing at the end. No cat audio, so we'll just listen to some banger tunes instead then. So the first time actually using the controller, the first thing I found, and obviously this isn't a fault with the controller, this is a fault with me. I wanted to pull the left and the right paddles for accelerator and brake. Coming up here, I was just like pressing it, holding the power, flooring the power, just messing about with it, trying to get a feel for it. Coming up to the first corner, trying to take like the normal braking zone. And yeah, it's weird, and it's gonna be weird for the first few days. I'm sure it's gonna be really weird, but eventually with practice, the same with anything though, like you jump on a wheel for the first time coming from controller and it's gonna feel weird, but after, you know, a bit of practice, like you're gonna get to grips with it. I was also finding like I got so used to doing it with just pressing the pedals that it kind of, I mean, I did it for 2 months, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I do learn things pretty quick. It was like concentrate. So this bit here, I was pulling the left paddle. I was pulling the downshift for brake. That's why I slammed into the wall. But yeah, I was finding I was like, because it was my first go, I was really concentrating on pressing the buttons and not concentrating on like taking a clean line. I'm just trying to get a feel for the accelerator and the amount of brake that I need to achieve the right amount of stopping power or the right amount of acceleration coming out of the bend. So straight to Beamng. We went through a few different games because, you know, people are not necessarily all just going to play Assetto CORSAIR. Like, there's a ton of games out there. For some reason I thought, man, I'm not going to need the pedals button, let's just remove it. Then I thought, man, if somebody comes round, like one of my friends, we're going to have to mess about rebanding the buttons. So same, we add the accelerator, we add the brake, no problem, straight up to 100%. Pick a car, go for a drive. The idea was to just show on multiple games like how easy it is to plug it in and go. Like there's no like extra setup you need to do. It just works. So here, I was like, I felt like the throttle was doing like on or off, like it was working like a button, and it had no modulation. There was just something weird about it, and I didn't know what it was, but it was just me. And I think as well, because I was in neutral, there's like no resistance within the engine, so it was just like free revving. It felt strange, but then as soon as I put it into gear, it felt fine. So like, you know, it was all me. It was nothing to do with the hand controller. And I've been killing Beam, and I always kill Beam, partly because I find I can sit and mess about on Beam for hours, but as soon as I get into Assetto Corsair or ACC or even Gran Turismo, when I was doing some Gran Turismo stuff, anything over like 6 laps, anything over 15 minutes, my hand just can't take it from pressing the pedal. So this is another thing I'm hoping with this. I can start to do ACC races that are 30-40 minutes long, whereas I wouldn't be able to do that with the pedals, which is why I hadn't even been playing it that much. No Hesi, straight in. Loaded up the content manager thing for the Assetto Corsair Online, added the buttons, super easy, straight into it. And I felt even by this point, so pretty much everything you've seen is all the experience that I had. I did do a little bit more on Beamng. I got up to Foxhole, but I cut that out. You're going to see it at the end. So in total, I probably had not even 5 minutes practice with it, and already by now I'm starting to get like I was actually coming up to some cars and braking ready for the gap. Even when I was doing it with the pedals, I wasn't even doing that. I'd just hold the accelerator down and just go and just try and force my way through all the gaps. Whereas with this, I felt like I had more control, and like I wanted to use more control. I think as well because I can put my other hand near the wheel, whereas before I was massively restricted to only using one hand all the time, because I had to have my right hand on the pedals. Like, there's just something about it, like I just feel more in control, even though I'm not actually holding onto the wheel, my hand is right there. And I tried to do it a few times, like I tried to grab the wheel a few times. Like, you don't need to grab it. I'm so used to just doing it with my left hand. I think it's more like a safety cushion type thing, like I know it's there and I know I can grab it with 2 hands if I really need to. And at some points I did, but I've got used to driving with one hand. But already, like I was feeling pretty confident at this point. Dead. Standard No Hesi stuff, you can't go forever. So every time we crash, we switch to another game. So straight from the online stuff into Assetto Corsair. I'm pretty sure I had to remap the controls for this. I could be wrong. Maybe I just had to select the profile. But still, straight away, put it on, started driving. Totally fine. So for anybody who's in a similar position to me and is looking to get into sim racing, this is definitely a viable option. I'll leave the link below to the 3D Wrap website so you can go take a look at it yourself. It's definitely works out cheaper than a $600 Fanatec wheel, just to get some fancy flappy paddles that you can map to the accelerator and the brake. Like, not everybody has $600 to chance on a wheel. But there is one thing. This this bit at the top where the strap fastens to, when you have it on, it's pretty sharp, and when you're pressing the button, as it rotates on your hand, it kind of digs in a little bit. And the power cord is like a micro USB. USB-C would just be so much better. I'd love to see console compatibility someday as well, even if it was just for, let's say, the controller plugged into a Logitech pedal port. So it just replaces the pedals, goes straight into the Logitech wheel, and it reads it as the pedals. So this is going to be my go-to method for driving now, as you can imagine. No strain on the wrist. Like, only time will tell if it's going to strain the thumb at all, especially on like long sessions, but there's no way it could be any worse than having to press the pedals with the wrist. So I guess we're coming up to the end, so massive thank you to 3D Wrap for sending me the hand controller. You're just like, you've made things so much easier for me. Like, you don't even understand. There'll be plenty more content on this channel using these controls. So if it's something you're looking into get yourself, stick around, drop a subscribe, leave a like, go show 3D Wrap some love on their socials. I'll leave all the links below. I'd also like to add that this is not a paid promotion. All they did was send me the hand controls. Yeah. And I would say on this bombshell, but it's not a bombshell because it's a bombshell of absolute epicness. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!